Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Menacing Podcast. We are, of course, late, as usual. We had some logistical confusion earlier this week, and we finally were able to get time squared away to record. And unfortunately, in that reshuffling, we lost Brent. He unfortunately, so we're 3 times less menacing without Brent on the podcast. You're just stuck with John and I. John,
hello.
Greetings. Thank you for doing this off-schedule recording session.
I will do anything I can to help the podcast.
Wow, that's dedication. We appreciate that. Wow.
I don't know if I can rant as good as Brent, but I will do my best.
I don't think anybody can.
No one can.
We should start a segment called "So You Think You Can Rant Better Than Brent."
That's a good one. I like that.
That rhymes too. So
we probably just get a lot of emails, a lot of caps.
Yeah, all caps. Yeah, it'd be a lot of screaming.
A lot of screaming.
There's a fine art to it, I'm sure, as Brent would tell us. A fine art to ranting. That it's not just screaming. There's a lot of finesse that goes into it.
I think it's more so the fact you just have to. It's how you deliver it. You know?
It's all in the delivery. You're right. Absolutely.
Yeah. No one can see him, but they can feel like the tension in his voice of how he rants,
yeah.
You know?
Yeah. The sheer frustration.
Exactly.
So he'll be back, of course, next week with us. Back to our usual time, usual schedule. Next week. So if I knew it was just going to end up being John and I anyways, I would have recorded at the normal time. So thanks for planning that one out well, Brent. So John.
Yes.
Here we are. What do you got? Do you bring something to the table today?
I do, actually. I think
what do you want to talk about?
It's interesting because I follow this site on one of the social media pages, and they always have these very interesting topics. And I found one the other day. I thought I was going to send it to you and Brent, but apparently I forgot.
That'll happen, right?
Well, and the tagline was some crows.
I beg your pardon. Some crows, like the bird.
The bird, yeah.
Okay.
Some crows in France have been trained to collect cigarette butts and exchange them for food.
Wait. Okay. So they're basically now hiring crows.
Yes.
As janitors.
Pretty much. Cigarette butt janitors to that.
Cigarette, so specifically, that's all they do. They just pick
all
up.
they do. And exchange them for food.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
Well, here in America, we have these things, I think, in the public, I think called cigarette butt holders. People smoke them, and just...
Yeah, cigarette butt holders, I think is the normal term for those.
And I remember, you just put them in there, you put the cigarette thing out, and you throw them in there, and someone comes and cleans it out. In France, apparently, they're like, let's get rid of those, make the crows do it.
Well, it's probably because, A, people in France are lazy and they don't want to do that work, right? No, that is not good enough for me. I cannot work that job. Let me light up another cigarette. And that's the other problem, is everybody in France smokes.
Exactly.
And so they're, of course, running into the issue, oh, look at this, we got some problems. There are so many cigarette butts, and nobody wants to clean them up.
No.
So they're like, what are these birds in the sky?
Well... And crows are like scavengers too. They're not I don't know how well trained birds they can be, but apparently enough to where it's a bird, you pick it up.
I think, my biggest problem is I get the crow and the raven confused.
Oh yeah,
I'd be out there trying to train a raven, and I don't know if you can do that if ravens do that. Crows, apparently, I've heard, and again, this is just the confusion I don't know if it was about crows or ravens, but one of those they're very smart. And
really?
they'll even, if you can train them to bring you stuff, I've heard. Again, apparently it's crows. I don't know. I always thought it was either crows or ravens, as I'm not aware of what those are.
Well, and apparently in 2018, the French theme park Puy de Fou.
Oh, yes, of course. That's
very famous.
That's like the Six Flags over Paris.
Oh, yeah, in Puy de Fou.
Oh, yes, of course. That is one of our best rides we have out there.
Trained 6 crows to help clean up litter, including cigarette butts. The crows learned to drop the waste into a special machine that rewarded them with food. This initiative highlighted the birds' intelligence and ability to perform tasks. The project aimed to promote environmental awareness and create waste management solutions.
Who's it creating environmental awareness for? Is it for the crows? Do they have a problem understanding? I don't get that. Are they out there not sure how environmentalism works?
Could you imagine the other birds around there What are they doing? Why are they? They work for the man?
Yeah, I bet you they get a lot of judgment from like the Blue
do.
Jays or something.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the Blue Jays judge everyone.
Mockingbirds over there
Wow,
going,
come on.
oh, look at you picking up your cigarette butts, huh?
Or a raven. Or a
raven. Yeah, ravens would be like, oh, we're too refined for this.
Yes, you give us a bad name.
Oh, look at you.
It's just...
You're a disgrace.
Well, think about it. It's like, so we can sometimes train, dogs to bring us newspapers or other animals.
Sure.
You can train a horse to one of those, like stage horses, like, to prance, or kneel or that too. You can train chimpanzees, obviously, to do other things as well.
Yep.
And cockatoos speak, you can train them to do too, or something like that. And then also now you got crows picking up cigarette butts.
Because they're they're like the janitors of the animal kingdom, right?
What if they pick up smoking,
What? Well, I was just going to ask that. I'm glad you brought that. I was just going to ask that. Do they smoke the cigarette? Are they out there? Do we have a smoking pandemic among the crow community where they're picking up the buds and they're like, oh, this is, I don't know what a crow would sound like.
I don't know.
I think Disney did it once and that didn't go well.
Didn't go well.
We can't redo that one. But they have they start smoking the leftover butt there, and we have a huge pandemic of smoking. Maybe we should get them to vape.
There we go.
That seems to be right. That's the safe alternative, supposedly.
The little machine, actually, you have to take a puff of vape, and then they get the free food.
Oh,
yes, there you go. So.
They're training them not only to avoid smoking, but to vape instead. Yeah. So then you'll have all these douchey crows sitting around with vape pens.
Well, could you? They soon name the crows. Oh, they're Steve. Steve. You need to get your daily vape in. Come on now.
Would they name him Steve in France, or would you have to have that is Francois?
Francois, and then you have Peter.
That is Robold, Robaldi, or whatever.
It was just one of those things France. I'm like, they trained crows to pick up cigarettes. I mean, what is... I don't...
It's either genius or that's going to end poorly.
Very end poorly. Well,
I'm not too worried about artificial intelligence, but I mean, if you're training crows to do stuff like this, eventually, where does it end?
Well, also too, what else can you train animals to do? There's tons of birds out there. What can you train the hummingbird to do? He's a thief. He's small and tiny and fast.
Actually, you could fit him in anywhere.
You couldn't pick up much, but...
Or bats? Well, they're mammals, though.
That's true.
But that's a double threat, though, right?
It's true, yeah.
It's a mammal, but it's like a bird.
Mm-hmm.
And they can... I learned last night that they can slip into, rather thin areas. The bats can. I mean, you're looking at a thief right there.
Well, and also, is it, male crows, or is it female crows?
Well, that's interesting. Yeah, is there a differentiation there between if a male crow or a female? Well, females refuse to do it.
Exactly.
Well,
and that's the thing. In the top corner of this post says, "Did you know?" So it's like a "Did you know?" I'm like,
I did not know. How in the world would I possibly know that?
Yeah, train crows to pick up cigarette butts, and get food. I mean, also, like I said, crows are scavengers. I'm pretty sure they eat anything.
Yeah.
So why do they need food?
Yeah, I've seen them. They'll even not just scavenge. They'll eat families of bunnies.
Yeah.
Just it's brutal to watch that. But yeah, then you see them on the side of the road. Have you ever noticed too, when you're driving down the road and there's a crow, they wait till the last minute to fly away. They're kind of like I feel like maybe training them is not a good thing. Yeah, what are we creating?
Exactly.
We're gonna have Planet of the Crows, not Planet of the Apes so much, but Planet of the Crows.
Oh my goodness!
And so they'll do stuff in exchange for food. You can train a crow. That's odd. I feel like that's impressive because their brain doesn't seem like it would be that.
Yes,
it's got small little heads.
It's just it's baffling to me that they would just choose, like I said, a crow. You could literally choose anything, and also too. You could choose a different animal and you could walk with them. Here's a cigarette butt. Pick that up. Why doesn't the human work with the animals to clean up? That's environmental awareness, You
have an old janitor going around with his crow on his shoulder.
Yeah. Could you imagine?
Francois, go get me that cigarette butt. Francois, don't start smoking it. I thought you were quitting.
Even though he's got one of those pickup sticks, he doesn't even bend over to pick it up.
Francois.
Soon the crows will have little hazard vests and little hats they wear.
Oh my word! Yeah, those little reflective vests.
And everything.
Probably a hard hat because you got to be careful in that line of work.
Well, I mean, you don't want a cigarette butt to drop on your head. But,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
but could you imagine if you see someone just flick it and then midair crow like catches it? No, not today.
Not today. Get us out of my city.
Yes, I need food today anyways.
Thank you. You have fed my family.
Oh man, that was one of the most interesting things I saw this past week. Just like apparently humans can train any type of animal.
What an interesting. Well, not any type of animal.
I mean,
They've tried to do the whole training tigers to participate in shows, and it rarely ends well for people.
Yeah.
But apparently crows have a very sophisticated barter economy that they've already developed, and we're just tapping into it.
Well, and you said they're intelligent.
Yeah. Well, that's apparently either that or ravens.
Oh, that's true.
Still not sure on the.
Well, soon they were going to take over the world, and we'll be run by crows.
Oh, that's See, well, that's what I'm worried about, right?
I know, right?
You're going to find the next president of France is Francois the Crow.
The crow, and then
Or Raven.
He'll start a crow revolution.
A Crowvolution?
Crowvolution. They'll spread all over the world.
Well, and that's, and it's going to be, well, at least though, I mean, very clearly, right, there's some upside to that. Because very clearly the crows believe in a free market system.
They do.
Right? So they're going to be, we're going to have free markets. Yeah. And I think that's really all we can ask for.
I think free airfare, too.
Free, they love, flying is a big thing for them.
Flying is a big thing, so free airfare.
That's going to be, I
like that.
So it'll be, you get a little free market mixed with a little socialism there, which is, that's what you're gonna have to live with. That's what you live with.
But then the roles will be reversed and be like, all right, now we are the trainees. We are the ones to pick up the cigarette
Oh no,
butts.
We're gonna be picking up the cigarette, but we're gonna be back to all being janitors.
Pretty much,
to our crow overlords.
Oh my! But very interesting. Just like, did you know? I like that. It's like those John.
Yeah, was that just on social media that you came across?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's just like one of those.
It's amazing the things people are talking about on social media.
I don't know if it's true or not. It could be, but it's interesting. A little tidbit.
We've done zero research, folks. So I mean, take it with a grain of salt. But
oh man,
it's an interesting concept. I have heard, like I said, of people who the crows have brought them something. If you leave a little gift out for them, the crows will take it, and they'll continue to bring stuff. So who's training who?
Exactly.
Here, really, are the crows training us to give them food, or are we training them to pick up our cigarette butts?
Because we're lazy.
And just wait, I mean, where does it end now with more widespread marijuana legalization?
Yeah.
Like you're gonna have a bunch of high crows.
Well, especially remember the topic I brought up, about was it the Hurricane Debbie blew up all that cocaine.
All that cocaine. I mean, what are they going to train the crows to take care? You're going to have a bunch of crows with a drug dependency.
Imagine someone walking on the beach, you see just like hundreds of crows gathered. What in the world? They'll look at you. Move on.
Cocaine crow.
Cocaine crows.
Yeah, that's. Where does it end?
Exactly.
It starts with cigarettes are a slippery slope.
They are,
as we've heard.
Well, in the tobacco industry, they'll probably be like, "This is not good for business."
No, it might be good for their business if you got an easier way to pick up cigarette butts. Right? People are going to be like, "Oh, no, I don't feel bad."
But if you don't want the world to be run by crows, stop smoking.
Well, that's if you have a real fear of crows taking over, then that's an incentive to stop
at least
smoking.
in France. So.
Yeah, that's what a filthy place that is.
Filthy place.
We don't have people who will work, so we are going to train animals.
Oh man!
Is that the sound a crow makes?
I don't know. It could be. It's I don't know. I'm doing the best I got here.
Or is it do crows do the caw caw, or is that ravens? Again, these are both very confusing to me.
Maybe they identify as ravens.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so there's transspeciesism going on there.
So like a Romeo and Juliet type of thing. The families.
Yes, the crow crows and ravens, of course, longtime enemies.
Yep,
and they're the son of the lead crow falls in love with the daughter of the lead raven.
Mm-hmm. Bad times.
Bad times. Yeah, you don't want that. That's the great crow-raven wars.
Crow-raven wars.
So that's interesting. Yeah. We'd love to hear our listeners' thoughts on that one.
Also, what animal would you want to train?
Interesting. Yeah, what animal would you want to train to pick up your cigarette butts?
Cigarette butts or anything. Hey, Mr. Squirrel, like Chad, we've talked about that. Can you just, come on, do that gardening thing that I told you to do. Just dig it up a little bit. So.
Did you name that squirrel Chad?
I did not name it squirrel Chad.
That's an interesting name for a squirrel.
Just kidding.
And why a squirrel? I wonder what you could...
So
Steve the squirrel.
Steve the squirrel.
It's got a nice ring
Charlie
to
the
it.
squirrel?
Chad isn't all that bad. It's just I wasn't.
Oh no, Chad
I wasn't
the chipmunk. That's what I was going to...
Oh, Chad the chipmunk.
There
Yeah,
you go,
that makes a little more sense there. You got to have all the names. Kind of have to.
Pretty...
I don't know what you call that.
What's the Disney princess that can talk to all the animals and help them clean
Isn't
up?
it Snow White?
It's Snow White, yeah. Like a real life Snow White situation.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh, look at John. And it's like, he's got squirrels, chipmunks, ravens, crows he's talking to them. I think we should call someone.
Yeah. Yeah, that one's going to get you to an insane asylum
It
pretty
kinda will,
quickly,
so.
I think. So.
Also, you see all the animals will spread out and they just clean the house and cleaning around the house.
Oh, are you talking Enchanted?
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
Giselle?
Giselle,
Isn't
yes.
that Giselle?
Yep.
Yeah, that's Giselle.
She sings and then all the...
Yeah, with the cockroaches and the right, because she's in New York.
Yeah. Oh, wow,
I'm surprised. Yeah, well, I'm surprised that's not what they use in France. Filthy place.
It is a filthy place. Well, I mean, there's a lot we can say about France.
Did you hear all those people, the Olympians, who got sick swimming in the Seine?
Yeah, I did hear about that.
They promised they cleaned it up, though.
Yeah. I'm sure France will not be hosting the Olympics again anytime soon.
No, it'll probably be a little while.
And so, Russ, you got anything for us today?
I do, actually. So
Yes.
a little while back, we talked about... well, I should say Brent brought up... I don't know if you were on for this episode. This might have been during your hiatus.
Probably.
But Brent had talked about Charmin, the toilet paper
Oh, okay, yes.
company.
Yep.
And they do those wavy
Yes.
edges
Yep.
now.
Yep, they do.
And
Ultra soft.
Is that ultra soft? Well, it's funny to me. So I found... Let me... I got a quick pull up something here. So because I saw a commercial for these for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
I had not seen a commercial before for the specific type of toilet paper where it's got the wavy edges.
Yeah.
Hold on, nothing seems to be... There it is. So they're rolling out these ultra soft smooth tear with the wavy edges to make it easier to tear. Brent at the time had pitched it as a way not to the sharp edges there. On
Gotcha.
The,
yes.
the more,
you don't want to cut yourself.
No, which I mean you don't. You're
Yeah.
dealing with stuff down there. You gotta. You don't want anything
Nope.
going wrong. So they talk about how consumers' number one complaint to our call centers over the years has been the uneven tears from the square shape. I don't understand why. What are people doing that tearing from the square? How is that so hard?
Well,
who's calling a complaint center? Yeah, hello. I need to file a complaint because your toilet paper, it keeps leaving that. There's that little triangular piece on the corner. I can't, and it messes the whole thing up. Why is this happening? You need to fix this now. Like why? Who's?
You're sitting on the toilet and all of a sudden you're someone on the phone call. This is customer service. Yes, I have a complaint about your toilet paper. You're just like, what?
How bad are you at tearing toilet paper?
Well, there are 3 types of toilet paper tearers.
Oh, okay.
So,
good.
Yeah.
What are the three types?
You have the guy who pulls it slowly and then tears it evenly, and then he folds it up. You have the quick one, and rips it off quickly, and then you have the one who pulls little tears, pulls little and tears, and pulls little tears. So you have 3 types of toilet paper tearers.
Yeah.
Terrors.
Terrors.
Oh, that's
oh boy.
Oh my. So,
3 types of toilet paper terrors.
Yeah. So
that's a different topic for a different time.
Yeah, it is. So those 3 types of people, there's different styles in trying to pull the thing. So maybe they just. But the thing is, though, I'm pretty sure I've used Charmin soft before, and it's not that hard to tear.
Every other toilet paper brand is the straight edge.
Yeah.
Where you just. Oh, look at that. Oh, I'm a normal person. I'm tearing, and whoop, there it goes. It's perforated.
Soon, Charmin's going to have to invent a machine where it's like, you hit the button, like, how many sheets do you want? Hit the button, and it tears
just
for you.
And it slices it. Why, they should have done that. How much money did they spend on research and development where somebody was like, I think if we do a wavy line, it'll be probably better. We've gotten so many complaints about it.
Yeah.
Like, wait. They would have probably saved money just doing a little machine that just...
Exactly. I think it'd be... And like I said, and if you want more, you just press a button where it's like, all right, I would like 5 sheets. Like, boop, thank you so much.
Oh, yeah. Just... Oh, yeah. That's really... Yeah, you just have a little digital readout there. Doot, doot, doot.
If you want more, just hit a little more, and they'll be like, are you sure? Like,
yes, I was just thinking that. How, if you do too many, it'll be like, are you sure? Because you don't... You know... Because then if you got like a kid, who's like, dude, it's kind of a safety thing.
It's like, oh, you want 500 sheets? No, there's a limit. You don't
reject.
Yeah, rejected. It just starts rolling it back up and everything.
And that also solves the problem of your cat.
Yes,
hitting the roll. And see this TM, you, Charmin.
There you go.
You calm down over there. That's our idea. You came up with that wavy edge and wasted all your money on this.
Exactly.
In one fell sweep, we just came up with the automated toilet paper dispenser.
Exactly.
So you back off.
And
TM.
I mean, it's a very rare occasion, but you do have those people who probably don't even wipe, or it's like the door locks, like, sorry, you're not allowed to leave until you do wipe.
They should do that with washing your hands as well.
That too. I have, that's...
Oh my God, somebody who creates a bathroom that has an alarm system where it senses if you don't wash your hands, it goes into lockdown.
Yeah, or you get marked.
And a red light flashes.
You're marked for dirty hands.
Oh, that might be better because you have some liability thing with locking people in the bathroom. Yeah. Everybody gets a little upset about that.
I know.
But yeah, it just you're trying to leave and it just like marks your hand someplace visible, so everybody can see you. It's like a scarlet letter.
That's a scarlet letter. Unclean.
Yeah, scarlet U.
Yep.
I guess it would be a brown U.
Oh,
right? That's
a brown U.
That's what it would have to be.
Well, even with even if you don't, if you're just, I mean, for men, obviously we have urinals. Sometimes I've seen a man just do his business. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And then all of a sudden he walks right by, walks outside. I'm like,
this is interesting, John, that you bring this up. I don't want to interrupt your point here, but that's a controversial thing in the world of men because some do view that. And ladies, can we get some ladies here? I know we have lady listeners, but kind of chiming in on this. What are your thoughts? Is it socially acceptable for a man to use the urinal and leave the restroom without washing his hands? First off, I would like to just specify, I never do that. I wash my hands every time I'm in the bathroom.
Exactly.
But it is, some people view it as appropriate when you just go to the urinal.
Here's my thing. And like I said, obviously not to get too... a family-friendly show. I don't want to be too graphic,
not too graphic at all.
As a man who has, partake in the urinal festivities, so...
Oh, that sounds like a really fun time.
I had a really fun time. It is almost, unless you have a talent that I don't know about, it's almost impossible not to, have to handle yourself to,
You're doing a terrible job.
I know, this is terrible. I know, but that's what I'm
handling
saying.
This.
Well, I'm saying, like, you either, if you have a zipper, or what if you don't have a zipper?
I'm going to get emails now about being made uncomfortable by John talking about handling himself.
But that's the thing, there's no possible way where your hands don't get dirty. And I've seen people even, like, put their hand on the wall and just lay there and just like, do you think the wall is clean right there?
Yeah, like you're the only one who's ever done it. And even with the advent of self-flushing toilets,
exactly,
you're still in a bathroom where multiple people have come through,
or they just don't flush. I've seen people they just don't flush, and then
they still don't wash.
Wash their hands. Where it's like you're in a bathroom. Especially a public bathroom. If it's your own bathroom, okay, then your wife has to deal with you. That's okay.
Sure.
But if you're in your public bathroom, I think it's morally unacceptable.
I agree. I think it is morally unacceptable. If you go into that bathroom, you wash your dirty hands.
Exactly. And
I think this should be just standard society 101.
Yeah. Well, and I have worked at places where it says employees must wash their hands. What have I seen? Employees not wash their hands.
No, like, that one's the worst. That's egregious.
That is very egregious.
That is absolutely egregious.
And it's just crazy. So there should be like soon they'll post a little, rule, like urinal rule, like step 1, do your business. Step 2, please wash your hands. And step 3, if you don't, you're marked.
I like the marking idea. I think we should do that. The brown U is unclean.
Like, could you imagine you walk out? unclean, brown U.
You get like a little stamp on your hand,
or
maybe even your forehead, like as you walk through.
It's like, you're like, what in the world just happened? It's like, ew, he didn't wash his hands.
Yeah, and everybody can publicly shame.
Like, I'm clean. There's nothing dirty. Sir, you need to wash your hands.
You were in the bathroom. That's dirty enough.
Especially nowadays with like after 2020, like everyone should be washing their hands and like.
You would think. It really doesn't have. It's shocking to me how many people don't.
I don't understand.
We're not talking about just being like, we're not even talking about being a germaphobe and washing your hands randomly for no reason. Like, we're talking about legitimate times where you actually wash your hands.
Exactly.
And people are like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
builds character. Germs build character. That's how you build up your immune system.
I know, right? Eat some dirt. Don't wash your hands. Touch everyone.
Back in my day. Yeah, well, back in your day, everybody died of the plague.
And also, too, hold on here. So, it's acceptable, quotation marks, it's acceptable to not wash your hands after the urinal, but it's unacceptable after you go into the toilet. Oh, if you don't want, that's disgusting, you need to wash your hands. Like, what's the difference?
What's the difference? Yeah.
What's the difference?
You handle one less door?
Exactly. I mean, yes, you may have this wavy, Charmin soft,
yeah, you may have
protecting your hand, but it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
It does not matter. You need to wash your hands. And also, too, I've actually, one time I went to the bathrooms out with soap. And I had my hands. I'm like, oh.
That's a bad, yeah.
And even then, I was like, I am not going to touch anything. I will try, because I didn't have soap. I didn't clean my hands like properly. So I'm like, I got to find some place that actually has soap. I was like, it's just common courtesy, you know? I don't get it. Also, too, I'd feel bad if I touch anyone. Or shook someone's hand. You know, it's like, oh my goodness, I just dirtied that person's hand with.
I feel like these are simple rules for just existing in society.
Perhaps the crows could be the bathroom attendants.
Oh my goodness, yeah, that's actually a good idea.
Train them to have people wash their hands.
Caw! I'm gonna wash my hands. Calm down, Francois.
He's got like the little thing like caw. Like, I'm gonna get like crowed.
And then, and either that, I like the idea, but I'm also kind of wondering maybe to incorporate more birds, right? We want to be inclusive. Yeah. You could have a parrot. Because then while you're washing your hands, they can sing the ABC song, right? Because that's the amount of time that you wash your hands for.
And of course, if you don't wash your hands, that's when they'll make a stink, and then they'll know you didn't wash your hands.
Yes, they'll eat your eyes out.
Exactly.
Right? Oh, no, that's maybe a little too aggressive. A little too
sometimes it might be actually necessary.
Maybe the crow puts the brown stamp on you.
There you go. You've been crowed.
Yeah, you've been crowed. Okay, yeah.
Oh my goodness. That's interesting. Yeah, I really believe that people should just practice, just clean hygiene.
We'll put a poll up on this episode asking how you view this topic. Is it socially acceptable to forgo washing your hands?
Because if you think about it, if let's say Russ and I, let's say I didn't wash my hands and Russ saw oh my word, you saw, I'm wearing a hat right now. As I said, John did not wash his hands after he went to the bathroom. Is Russ going to shake my hand? Like, Russ, how's it going?
Absolutely
he goes, no, you go and wash your hands. Could you imagine if people had something like that? Like you walk by someone wash their hands. Oh, he's a clean person. Didn't wash your hands. Sir, I don't want to. Sorry, I don't want to touch your hands.
What's the worst is when you've washed your hand and you come out of the bathroom and your hands are not completely dry yet. And as soon as you get out, somebody wants to shake your hand.
Yeah.
That's an awkward one because you try to get ahead of it, right?
Yeah.
Because you're like, I don't want them to think my hands are just sweaty, which they usually are. But you go to shake their hand, it's wet. And you're like, I just came from the bathroom, and then you're like, that made it worse. That wasn't better. I should explain further.
Because then they're thinking is it wet because it's water or is it something else? Yeah. Also, too, speaking about the bathroom a little bit, hand washing. What are your thoughts on that? Those Dyson hand dryers that you put your hands down and you pull them in, pull them out, and they're supposed to dry your hands in 12 seconds.
Yeah. I don't think they do a good job. It doesn't do a good job. None of those air dryers that they put out there do the job. They're like, this will do great, and then you're putting your hand there and you're getting water splashed up in your face. And you're like, well, this can't be sanitary.
I got pink eye now,
Yeah. If you're gonna get pink eye, you're gonna get it in a bathroom.
Exactly.
And then and even the ones that blow the hot air just down, it's you're sitting there, and then it goes off after a second.
Exactly.
And you're like, what? Okay. And you're trying to get it back. You got to get the position just right for your hands underneath it. And it starts back up.
Yeah.
You've got a line behind you now.
Exactly.
And they don't work well. No. I don't know why they thought, this will be great. Well, they think it'll be great because A, they think they're being environmental,
Exactly.
and B, they think they're saving money because they're not buying paper towel.
Well, and I've seen bathrooms too that actually have the hand dryers and they have like a paper towel dispenser. I'm like, so at some point in time, someone said the hand dryers are not working. We still need paper, because what I've done before is I've taken one piece of paper towel, then went to the hand dryer, and it works so much better.
Oh yeah, well, because you're mostly dry
already,
It's just taking care of the.
So I think false advertisement for that one, because it definitely does not take 12. And then after, well, you gotta put your hands down slow. I'm like, it says 12 seconds.
Yeah.
Like how like 6 down, 6 up, and it's supposed to be dry, because I've done it and my hands are still wet.
I feel bad because I like Dyson a lot.
I do.
They make very good products, but the air dryer is not one of their better ones.
No.
I like like it makes it seem like it's going to blow the water just right off your hand,
exactly.
but it does not.
It's got the cool blue light too.
Yeah, it makes
nice.
you feel like it. Is that a UV light? Are they like
so.
sanitizing your hand that way? Maybe that's actually
scanning your fingerprints.
Or maybe. Okay, Brent.
Yeah, I know. Gotta make sure. He is clean. I don't know why I went to that accent. He's clean. No, he's dirty.
What accent was that?
I have no idea. Oh,
French. You ended up in France.
Oh, yeah. That's why we need the crows over there.
I feel like that would be more like Russian, where they'd be like, "No, we got his fingerprints again off of the ice." And
just
Vladimir, we have 5 more.
They're looking for certain person,
Yeah. Nobody using them.
No one using them. Oh, that's
They're all going to the paper towel.
That's why they want to destroy America, because we're all just dirty people.
We're all just dirty people.
Dirty people. That's what it is.
We don't have the crows over here. I think we only have ravens in America.
Oh, well, send a raven.
Yeah, send a raven. One thing I did want to point out on the Charmin thing as well is in this commercial, they claim these Charmin little wavy edges are like the number one product of the year for 2024.
Really?
I'm not sure. I really don't feel like their marketing team is thinking things through. Because I know you want to be number one, but do you know what business you're in? You should be the number 2 product of the year. I'm just saying, you missed a prime opportunity, Charmin.
Exactly.
Procter & Gamble, give me a call here, because I'm just sitting here doing this. This is off the cuff.
There you go.
I'm coming up with it. Your marketing department failed you. I don't care if you want to be number 1. You're in the number 2 business.
We invented I call it maybe the menacing. Well, I couldn't. I want to do the menacing toilet dispenser. That'd be bad.
Are you going to get toilet paper or a razor?
A razor. Yeah. It's like, choose your number.
It only goes up to high numbers.
I know, right?
Minimum of 25.
Exactly. It's like, what is your height and weight? Why do you need to know that toilet dispenser?
What's your mother's maiden name? First pet?
Oh, yeah. Like I said, genius idea.
Yeah, but I mean, we're coming up with all these and we're trademarking them right here.
Yeah.
And Procter & Gamble's over there like, we should have hired these guys.
Could you imagine that? Like Charmin actually does, like they do an advertisement where it's like, we're number 2. And on the toilet paper it says, we're number 2. Like, you pull the toilet paper.
Yes,
number 2.
We're number 2.
We're number 2. We're number 2.
Come on, guys. We're doing all the work right here. This is literally just off the cuff.
Charmin, number 2. Oh, okay. Thank you. That's great. I like that. That's a great idea.
I just think maybe we should get into the toilet paper game.
We should. Well, we're already steps ahead of Charmin.
We are.
Literally.
A lot of steps ahead.
Yeah. So
they have those bears too, which are weird. That bear family is way too comfortable talking about bathroom stuff with the entire family.
Exactly, and they always they're really happy about it too.
Oh yeah, they always. I don't understand it. Yeah. I'm not sure why you feel the need to it's a family event when the dad goes poop. That might be. That's some questions need to be asked about that family.
I wonder if they did like a test or a survey where it's like, would you prefer watching bears or whatever other animal they had chose, or dogs or crows, or maybe even humans. I don't know.
I think humans would be really weird.
really weird.
The bears at least tone it down a little bit.
And they always have the big Charmin rolls too.
That nobody can afford.
Yeah,
those.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Not with inflation, right?
Well, was it 75 ply or whatever?
ultra
soft. So.
It's like the size of a log.
Pretty much.
They just left it in log form.
They have a certain place in the woods where they're like, oh yeah, these are our Charmin trees. Please don't touch these.
Oh yeah,
they're for us.
They're actually made out of toilet paper.
Oh, very nice. They're so soft.
Folks, thanks for listening to this episode. This has been the Menacing Podcast. We'll be back to our normal time next week. John, are you going to be here?
I will.
Be able to make? All right.
I will be here.
Brent,
so.
are you? Oh, you're not here.
Oh, he's
and
not
you're
here.
not here in general.
Oh,
so I look
man,
forward to
so.
hearing what Brent has to say about this episode. And folks, as usual, send us your thoughts to menacingpodcast@gmail.com. You can also find this podcast anywhere podcasts are found. You can find us. You can look at Audible. Was it iTunes? Is it iTunes?
iTunes, yeah.
YouTube, Spotify, of course, where we are hosted. Thanks, Spotify. We love you. Bring in that money.
Oh, yeah.
We're like the number one podcast that I just made up that stat.
Number 2.
Yes, well, right. Oh, my
Number
goodness,
2.
John. I am just call me Procter & Gamble because I just missed a prime opportunity there.
Number 2.
So thanks for listening, folks, and be sure to check out that poll on our Spotify to vote in it about the social acceptability of using the urinal and then walking out without washing your hands.
Disgusting.